This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well. For more information, call 703-359-5642 or visit the website basilelemba.com.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Besile Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Besile Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your business and grow it. We always start the show with a quote, and today's quote is, "A typical smartphone has more computing power than an Apollo 11 when it landed on the moon." And that is from Nancy Gibbs. With us today on the show, we have somebody who works in helping people use the computers today. And a lot really had changed since then. So that's what we invited that person so they can give us much more information as to where the technology is and where it is going. His name is Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
How are you? Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Great.
All right. So, technology. I'm told that the smartphone has more computing power than Apollo when it landed to the on the moon.
Yes, it's incredible. It's amazing. You look at back in the 60s at the large computers in the huge computer rooms with air conditioned and all the processing that was going on with those punch cards. Back when I was in 7th grade, I took a class on computing and programming with COBOL. And the fun thing was to after you wrote your little program, you'd put your program in this machine and little punch, holes would be punched in these cards. You'd stack them all up, put them in this cartridge, and they'd get fed into this huge computer. And you get to get a printout at the end, and you'd find out if your program was correct or not. And that's how we found out if things would run. So that was at the end of that era. But now all of that processing power and COBOL and all that kind of thing has kind of gone out of fashion, obviously. And now everything that we do is kind of consolidated on little devices. Some things actually bits that we, like Fitbits and watches, all kinds of little devices. We have all kinds of computing power just in there, ready to use. It's amazing.
Very good. I understand you brought a video for us to see.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's watch the video then.
Outside the office, you never even have to think about the complex technologies you use every day, because you can quickly and easily tap into a seemingly endless supply of cloud-based services and applications. You're never tied to a single location, because you have the flexibility and freedom to access all of your information when and where you want it, at any time, from any place, and with any device you own. Things can be very different in the workplace though, where you can feel completely trapped, anchored to antiquated systems that don't give you the freedom to move around and work the way you want to, or the way your customers expect you to. So how can you enjoy that same flexible freedom you enjoy outside the office? You could try to put together your own cloud-based IT infrastructure, but just understanding which combination of technologies and vendors are right for your company can be an overwhelming process. And creating a patchwork of vendors for critical services like security, systems migrations, and data backup and recovery can be expensive and risky. You can also continue to invest into your own IT department, but that would be time-consuming and expensive.
Welcome back to the show. Now, you mentioned a little bit of the technology moving forward. Where is it at right now? Is it in the cloud? Where it is right now?
Yes.
Somewhere in the sky?
Well, it's actually, as I started out, you mentioned kind of like in the quote, of how small computers have gotten. It's kind of come back full circle. When we mention the cloud nowadays, it's really a data center.
Now, okay, I want you to explain that because that's a word that is used all over, but I don't know that our guests or everybody else understand exactly what that is. Let me ask you this. What is cloud technology?
Okay, well, let me put it this way. You see, so if you were in any, well, remember that the room I mentioned earlier of the large computers back in the 60s? Basically, a data center, even though things have kind of gotten smaller, basically you take that same room and now instead of one computer, you've shrunk that down and now you have like small computers. They're even called blades, meaning they fit into little slots. They're like little blade slots. And you may get one rack, sort of looks like a bread rack, sort of. And in each of these shelves is an individual computer. And you have racks and racks and racks of those individual computers just lined up, row after row after row. And that could just be one room in a data center. And so then you have those multiple rooms lined up in a data center and basically a large building with those rooms connected together and all cooled off, very cool, and connected to a very, very fast internet connection. And some people call that very fast internet connection like a backbone on the internet. Some place where the internet speed is just very fast. I'll keep it simple.
Okay, so that is cloud. What was different before?
Well, basically, if we look at before, when we looked at the mainframe kind of technology, that was the before. When we had that one large computer in the room, we had terminals outside of that room, kind of spread around a building, and large cables would kind of connect each of our little terminals to that large computer, and we could type in our programs and all the commands would get sent to that one terminal. The key was that you'd have to have this big cable connected to that large computer. What's changed is the connection has changed. What's interesting though is that we've kind of become full circle. What we started to do is when we moved away from the mainframe and we started to spread out and the Mac came out, or not the Mac, but the Apple II and the PC, it allowed data to kind of come away from the mainframe and that technology got to our desktops and then we had hard drives at our desktops and we were keeping our little Word perfect files at our desk on a hard drive and on floppy disks and now USB sticks and all the different technology that we save data, it all spread out. Then, as the internet became more powerful and our internet connection speeds got faster and faster, and as cyber security became more of an issue, folks started to say, wait a minute, how do we start controlling the data? How do we start figuring out how to keep our data secure? Then we started to kind of migrate back to a centralized place to keep our data, kind of going back to keeping our data in a data center, multiple computers instead of the one. And now the internet is serving in the place of that cable. So the internet is providing that connectivity. And now our devices, like an iPad or an iPhone or our laptops, they're sort of becoming that terminal. So instead of a very beefy disk drive or a lot of memory on your computer to do a lot of computing, now all they need to do is show you an image and you're connected to a data center or a cloud computer and you're getting data from your data center in the cloud.
Gotcha. So the cloud is that big building, which a lot of them are being built right now in our area, where all the information is stored.
Yes.
And now we just have the device over here, and it's connected to that.
Exactly.
Instead of having all these big, fat, whatever, holdings or whatever, it's there. Okay, that's what cloud is. Okay. Is it beneficial, cloud? Is it better than what we had before?
I think so.
You think? You're not sure?
I think so. As long as the user experience is good, because if the user experience suffers, then it's not a good a
But
good
is
thing.
it suffering now?
If folks implement that solution correctly, than like your IT folks. So you have lots of companies that say, hey, cloud is great, meaning, you know, your IT folks are, you know, your IT guy or maybe your team of 10 IT, you know, individuals in your IT department. They say, well, let's do a cloud solution. So let's buy a lot of servers and, you know, install this software so that we can make our own cloud solution, which is good. But then if you forget that, you know, you have to worry about how fast your network is and how fast your computers are, and you forget about those little details, then your user sometimes experiences slow connections and everything just slows down, and then they suffer. And then it's not so much fun.
Gotcha. So basically, the technology or the concept is good, but the implementation is what might or might not be faulty.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's much better to have it use cloud system.
Absolutely. If you can get everybody involved that needs to be involved from the beginning, so you get your architects together with your security folks, because security is key. You get your network engineers involved. Those are the people who handle how fast things go on the network. You get your folks in the C-suite, I mean your CEO, your chief financial officer, all the folks in decision-making positions in the company need to be aware of how IT can impact their business. Because if you have issues where, you know, connectivity is slow, people are suffering, they can't get their work done, then productivity suffers.
Definitely.
So if you get everybody kind of together in a room, say these are the things we want to look out for, and these things are designed in, your requirements are set, then putting things in the cloud can be very beneficial and very successful.
Okay. So if you don't want to put it in the cloud, do you have any other option?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can do it in-house or in IT. There's a, you know, on-premises is a, you know, buzzword. That just means your server isn't in a cloud data center somewhere. It's in your closet, or it's in your data closet, you know, where you just have a room in your building or your office building where you keep those servers cool yourself, and you manage that yourself. Some folks do a different thing. They call it hybrid. I'm going to calm down with these all these terms, but hybrid is another buzzword.
Combination of both?
Exactly. That's all.
See, I can think with that.
There you go.
I'm not an IT person. Take note, I'm not an IT person.
A little bit of both. That makes so the hybrid just allows you to use the things in the cloud that make sense for your company, and then the things that you're like, I'm not sure I want to put all that stuff up there.
Confidential or whatever you keep, or do you want to keep to yourself?
Yeah, you may want to keep that at your location, but I would argue actually the confidential stuff you may want to put in the cloud so you have more security.
Oh, more security in the cloud, you think?
Yes, more backups, more disaster recovery options.
So what do your company do then?
JAMESTECH?
Yes.
Yes, well, what we do is what we're really, and what we're excited about, we like to come into other businesses and help them figure out how to use IT to help their business grow. So we think that they didn't get into business to do IT, right? And actually, as a company, we hire people who are kind of love learning, and part of that skill or I guess value means that you enjoy going to other businesses and saying, hey, what do you do? What kinds of things do you want to do as a company, and how can we help you do that? And we're not going in saying, how many servers do you want to use, and, you know, how large are your files? We're not doing that. We're saying, what are your goals? What kinds of things are slowing you down? And we may get answers like, well, you know, we have folks that are working remotely, meaning, you know, we're working at home, and some folks are on the road a lot, and we're getting complaints that, you know, we go into customers' homes and we're collecting, pretty sensitive data, sensitive data where we're worried that if we lose our iPad that we may be collecting data on, that sensitive data could get lost too, and then we're on the news. So we may say, well, not everything is going to get solved by a virtual desktop kind of solution, but we may say, well, in that case, you may want to look at something where you can still use iPads because they're very small and convenient. But you look at a virtual desktop solution where you just you put your application on the virtual desktop, your salesperson or your person that's going out to gather data can just connect over the internet on a secure connection and pull up that data securely. If the iPad is lost, you just go to the Apple Store or AT&T and wherever you go to buy that, and Amazon, and go buy another iPad, expense it, and you're up and running again. But the data wasn't on the iPad to begin with.
Okay.
So that may be a solution to that problem. But the key that what we do is we go in, listen to the customer, find out what their goals are, and then try to basically help them get there. And then our thing also is we want to empower the companies to maintain the solutions we implement. So we're not there to stay. We're there to be their advisors, sort of like their outsourced chief technology officers. So when they have an issue or maybe they have an event coming up and they want to use, maybe they want to get 100 people together on some kind of online conference call. We may say, hey, use this technology to do an online meeting and give them advice there. Or we may implement a solution, train the users on how to use it, document it, make sure that they understand how it works, and then they're able to handle it themselves without us having to babysit them. So we educate as we implement solutions as well.
So basically a partner, and you want them to empower them so they can take it from there.
Exactly.
And coming to you when need be, or they have a challenge, or they need some advice.
Yes. Yes, and that's for the folks that want to do that. But JAMESTECH also serves as a managed service provider. So the folks that are kind of like, that sounds cool, but we really don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
The folks that are like, IT's cool and we'd like to learn it, but we don't have time. We handle those folks as well. So that's our managed service provider role as well. So we can manage everything and do that as well, and we can kind of cut that down to like a monthly price to where each user, is, your cost is kind of factored down to what each user uses. So if your users decrease 1 month, your costs go down. If you have to ramp up for
like
a few months,
basically.
exactly.
Okay.
You can ramp up when you need to and ramp down when you need to.
Okay, good. Now let me ask you this: in building your business, then, what do you consider your biggest challenge?
I think kind of getting the word out and trying to figure out, the best way to let people know kind of what we do and to educate them on what their options are. So we're doing more about getting the word out by doing some, I think we're going to have some shows coming up on like inbound marketing and that kind of thing. So we're doing a lot more educating. I'm actually a certified trainer. So I go out and I train classes on Microsoft technologies as well as the desktop infrastructure. So it's fun to go out and teach classes and educate folks in that setting. But we want to start doing more training videos and blog posts and that kind of thing to kind of educate just the general community of actually non-IT companies and to try and meet those folks kind of where they are. So if they're accountants or bookkeepers or lawyers running a law firm, we want to try and figure out how to kind of get to where they are, get them the message that says, hey, you don't have to do this all yourself. You don't have to go hire 3 or 4 IT people. We're here to help you, kind of thing.
Very good. So you was kind enough to attend our breakfast event last week. Can you tell the audience over here your experience? Share your experience at the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot different than any networking event I've been to in the past. I walked in normally to a networking event, have my cards. Like I go, I have all the cards. You told me to bring cards.
I got to pass out 10 of these.
Right, exactly. Run. There's a person. I have to pass it up.
There's a victim. Is that what you mean?
Right. I didn't go too fast. I went and got my table out of the way, kind of, scoping out the room. But it was very, very cool. The folks were really nice as soon as I walked in, kind of got my spot. And then once you opened up and kind of introduced yourself and introduced the kind of like the way the networking event was going to run, you let us know that, hey, we're going to get a list of all the folks that were here. So that kind of relaxed me. I'm like, hey, I don't have to actually...
To bounce hard.
Yeah. I don't have to meet every single person within 5 minutes or they're going to run out the door. So that was awesome.
You don't want them to beat you to the door.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And then also, I didn't have to talk about running around. We were allowed as the new folks, you set up the chairs in a very cool way. I was trying to figure out when I was sitting there earlier, why were there chairs kind of all around the wall? And so the new folks got to sit in chairs along the wall. And then the folks who had been there at least once or twice would come around and they'd kind of rotate. And we would get to meet all of the folks that had been there before, and we could relax, and it was pretty cool, So we got a chance to meet everybody in the room, and it was a very well organized and efficient way to meet everybody in the room. So it was really cool.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be back. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
And also, folks, that was regarding the Breakfast Club. We have them once a month. The next one will be on October the 15th. And also, you should know that we have an expo coming up, November 6th.
Yeah.
I have about 100 to 80 to 100 exhibitors there, and we'll be at the Bechtel conference here in Reston.
Yeah.
So I think you guys will be exhibiting there.
Definitely. So we'll have our little display table there.
Yes.
And I'll have some devices there with some of the things we do, and it should be fun.
Yes, that'll be a great opportunity for you again to get the word out. Okay. So now let me ask you this, Mark, what is your biggest success in life?
Biggest success. Wow. Marrying my wife, let's see,
Congratulations.
kids. My daughter's in college.
Good.
So she started at Howard University, have my son coming along. So all those. So
they're big success.
Worked for Microsoft. Okay, no. Started my company, so I'm doing okay, but it's being able to do what I love, working in IT. I've always been interested in computers, taking things apart, hopefully putting them back together, once I get things apart. So it's just kind of having fun, being interested in the right thing at the right time, because it's an exciting time to be, tinkering with computers and the internet and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Where do you see your company 5 years from now?
Well, we're really interested in, and I hadn't hit this before, but secure collaboration. JAMESTECH has been working on, we've been a government subcontractor on a lot of different government contracts. So our company has been exposed to lots of secure implementations of IT systems. So we want to bring that viewpoint that we have on implementing secure IT solutions to small and mid-sized businesses. So over the next 5 years, that's one of the key things we want to bring. So that's our focus, and that's why the cloud desktop is a huge piece of that. It's getting your data in a safe place, cloud that's backed up daily, the virus protection is taken care of for you. In addition to that, your devices, we've partnered with security companies like Sophos and other companies to make sure that your devices are secure. So around key things like your device
How secure?
security.
When you say secure, what does that mean exactly?
Well, being able to protect your devices from malware, viruses, because and also have them monitored, because you can install your virus application and just forget about it, and then maybe every 3 or 4 months you get an update. But JAMESTECH's goal is to monitor that, and with the help of our partners, we actually have a cloud solution where we monitor our customers' devices, so that we'll know if a device that we're responsible for is actually
Get a virus or something.
Yeah, if it's in the process of getting attacked, we'll actually notify our customer to say, hey, either it's being attacked, we'll quarantine whatever the issue is, and then notify them. Our cloud desktop solution actually shuts down the device, the VM, the virtual server, until that's solved, and then we'll bring it back up. So it's kind of exciting. So our goal is to just focus on that security aspect, so that we can help small subcontractors avoid getting on the news with security breaches, because you've heard of some large retailers. Yes, I didn't want to say it.
Everybody knows about it. Not a secret.
That's true. It wasn't them. It was somebody working on one of their systems, and unfortunately for that company, they let a few holes into their network, and somebody got in. So we want to help those small businesses in a simple way, kind of put some walls up so they protect themselves.
Okay. Very good. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll do it.
I hope to. Yeah. One company at a time. So. Yeah.
That's great. Well, folks, we thank you very much for tuning in. And our show is on Cox Channel 10 on Tuesday at 9 p.m., on Wednesday right after midnight, and also on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Again, we want to remind you that we host a monthly breakfast event here in Fairfax. The next one will be on October 15. And also, as Mark mentioned, we're working on our next big expo, the holiday celebration event. Come and see Mark there, by the way. And you can also see Mark's website on the screen there. So you have all the information. Feel free to contact him so he can help you with your IT needs. And I was saying our expo is on November 6th. We'll be right here in Reston. We'll have about 100 exhibitors there and 300 to 400 business people.
Networking class?
Networking class. Oh, yeah, I'm glad. That's why I have you here. Yeah. We offer also networking class. You can find the information. Thank you very much. On our website, which is blnbc.com. Right. Again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and we're looking forward to having you with us next time. Good night.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well. For more information, call 703-359-5642 or visit the website basilelemba.com.